though still illustrative, was the non-debate a week ago Friday with Steve Tassi in California. And this morning I was directed to comments that he made. Now again, I'll admit, I'm really tired. Okay, Mr. Rule, where do you live? Where do you live? I do a lot of overseas travel. Tell me where you live, and who knows? Maybe something can be worked out. I go to London all the time. I'm going to be in Australia, New Zealand. Where do you live? Tell me. Evidently, not in the United States, according to what he says. Where do you live? I was directed... by the way, I do not have the videotape of the debate. Non-debate. I don't have it. Don't have access to it. I can't post it. Please stop asking me when it's going to be posted because it's not under my control. Okay?
Just a word of note, Steve, before the debate happened, had mentioned that the videographer would need at least 2 weeks to process it. So people need to settle down.
Just relax, yeah.
Chill.
I think they've seen some of the stuff that's been put out there from cell phones and stuff like that, and it's like, we got to watch this. No, you don't. You're not going to be missing anything. You're really not. I mean, we may note it, I may blog it, but we're not even going to link to it as one of my debates. There's no reason to. There just isn't. It was that bad. So, I've wondered, what would Pastor Tassi say about the encounter afterwards? And so evidently he put up some comments here. I haven't had a chance to listen to all of it. But I'm accused of all sorts of things in this video. One of the sections was I was gyrating wildly and what was the other term? During his opening statement. Actually, what I was doing was going... I did shake my head. But the idea that I was gyrating, I mean, that's why I queued this up, and I'm going to just have to play it over and over. I don't know how to reason with someone who only hears what they want to hear and twists everything that they hear. But I did want to play a couple sections here really quickly and comment on while we find out from Mr. Rule where he lives. Maybe he lives someplace in dial-up with only dial-up internet. That's why it's taking so long to get responses. Though it'd be pretty hard for him to be watching video. So you have the video? Okay, here we go.
Does it to everyone. I still think it's a tactic to do before the debate.
Okay, he continues to complain about the fact that 4 or 5 years ago, he posts a video attacking me. I did not know about the video until, I think, the day before. And I responded to it for the simple reason, let's put this stuff aside. Your statements about me, I should start a ministry going to parents of murdered girls who got raped to tell them that God was glorified in this. It was an absurd video. It was filled with absurd misrepresentation, straw men. And I responded to it to get it out of the way so we could debate Romans 9. That's why I did it. You chose to change the topic of the debate, show disrespect to all the people in the audience, and to me, to respond to that. That's the fact. These things are posted. Anybody with integrity can go look. That's the fact. He's still very upset about that.
He has rules. He told me I broke the rules because what I did when I started the debate is I addressed the video from the day before.
Now, don't we all know what the rules are? There was an agreed to topic, Romans chapter 9. you stick to the topic. Is that really that difficult? Well, for a non-cessationist, evidently it is. I'm very glad that Michael doesn't do this. Michael Brown doesn't do this. But consistently, if you're a non-cessationist and God tells you to break the rules, were you going to comment?
I was going to say, I had a conversation with Lane regarding this issue back in May when the whole thing was starting to line up for May. And Lane assured me that he had talked to Steve about this issue and that Steve told him that he had been watching my series on the original Romans 9 debate and learned things and knew what he needed to do and understood how debate works because I went through all the step-by-step of the rules and why the rules matter. Right. So this ignorance is silly.
Yeah, there wasn't any ignorance.
That wasn't in the rules, or that wasn't in the plans. So, but when I had watched the video, within 10 minutes of watching that video, I had jotted down notes and response, about 10 pages worth of notes that could be answered back to the things he was saying about me. And God put it on my heart, I believe, to start the debate that way. Rules.
What? I'm sorry.
No rules. God put that on my heart.
Rules or no rules? God told me to do it. God told me to break the rules. God told me to disrespect the audience. God told me to respond to the comments that were made. You know, why, Gail, why did you call it the NASV? Well, because that's what God calls it. You know, that is the trump card, isn't it? That term trump card has now come to mean something differently than it used to as well. But that's trump card. I defend what I did in breaking the rules and disrespecting the audience and totally changing the topic of debate and everything because God told me to. Divine revelation gives us the Immaculate Conception, the bodily assumption, and Steve Tassie's wandering, meandering, yeah, I attacked you and said all these silly things, but now I'm angry that you responded. Opening statement is supposed to be on Romans 9. There you go. You know, the Lord told me to.
To deal with that argument, he was poisoning the well. It's as if to say, before anybody even gets here, I'm going to make sure everybody knows he doesn't know what he's talking about and all these things.
So he can post videos and leave them up there for 4-5 years. That's not poisoning the well. If I respond,